Hey, happy Friday, everybody. Mark again here, Weatherman Plus. We have a lot of updates today. Not only do we have still the atmospheric river flooding still coming to the northwest, still bringing very big waves and a lot of wind gusts and heavy rainfall. We also have this dust that's coming through the MDR, and not only that, the sulfur dioxide is coming from La Palma volcano is coming with it. Plus, it's going to be reaching the Lesser Antilles right around the same time. We're still getting this major hurricane. And as this big system moves across our country, it's going to bring severe weather, chances for tornadoes, and damaging winds as well. And a good chance for either a nor'easter or a big, strong 1-2 punch of strong storms going to the northeast. Good chance. Now, if you've never been here before, hello. My name is Mark. I do upload every single day. Usually, yesterday I took off for a family day, but I don't upload from Friday from sundown to sundown Saturday. That's Sabbath. But I will make sure you cover. This story's been covered so much detail last few days. There really wasn't nothing to add yesterday. But make sure you hit that subscribe button because I am all year long. All I ask is if this information helps you and you think it could help another, please share this on social media. Help me reach others so people can be alerted to what's going on. And don't forget to hear the special message for today. Remember, all the links are in the description to help save you time. If you have time, please watch it all the way through. If y'all liked the video today, hit that like button, show support. Thank you so much. Now let's get into all this weather. Now we do have this big layer of Saharan dust that is coming through the Caribbean. We have a little bit now, and we're going to be getting some a little bit later. But what you don't see is like this big void area right here. I'll show you in a second. It's falling right with this dust. And you can see a big layer of it going towards the Lesser Antilles. It does fade down a little bit and stay more to the south while it's going through the MDR, the main development region. But it is going to carry through into the Caribbean. Now what you don't see is this big plume of sulfur dioxide that's coming from La Palma volcano, and this is going to be traveling with it as well as it goes west into the Atlantic and goes towards the Caribbean. But as you can see, the thickness of the plume does mostly stay around La Palma the whole time. So their air quality is really going to be bad all the way until Monday. But this will also carry right behind this dust, mix in with this dust, maybe get into a little bit of this system because I'm still showing it's still going to be popping up, guys. Plus, another main factor that's going to be playing a role into all this weather is this is your drought monitor. And as you can see, is your big main drought in these dark regions here. But now you have all them California wildfires, Southwest Oregon, and this might cause some mudslides with this next rainfall that's coming. Y'all been so dry for so long. I know this rain is going to help at the same time, but at the same time it can cause mudslides. Plus, when you look up in our tropopause where all this weather does come from, you can see everything that we're about to get into. We're about to get it some easy weather somewhat, and then the big storm is coming from the northwest, mostly by Sunday. And then as this big storm goes into the central U.S., it's going to get a very deep trough, and that's going to bring a lot of severe weather to the central U.S. Then as it carries over to the northeast, you're going to get a 1-2 punch of some storms that's going to brew up, and it could bring some snowfall. A lot of it would be intercoastal if it does. Mostly it's going to be a lot of rain and some damaging winds coming with it. Plus the weather that's going to come with it for today, tomorrow, and especially Sunday. You can see the rain is the green, some thunderstorms, and with this little dash. And then you got the mixed precipitation in this bluish purplish color. And as you're going into tomorrow, it's going to shift over, and you are going to get a little case of severe thunderstorms possible, mostly for Kansas. Then as you go into Sunday, it's going to get a little more widespread. The big system is coming from the northwest. It is going to bring some heavy rain and flash flooding possible, as well as right here for the Ohio Valley. Then you got a big section for severe weather. Plus the burn scars in southern Oregon, mostly southwestern, and northern Florida. And this area right here has a good chance for some flash flooding while you have recently burned areas. And those burn scars will bring those mudslides. So please be aware of that. Now, as you go today, you're just got a little marginal section. That's pretty much the only place anywhere. As you go into tomorrow, it's going to grow because the storm coming in. It's going to be steady storms training in that one area. And then while you get into Sunday, then you're going to get into the slight risk where it's going to be heavy section for flash flooding. You got the burn scars. You need to be careful of that. And it's going to swing around to the center of the U.S. And you're going to get some thunderstorms possible then too. I think a good chance for tornadoes will be popping up Sunday into Monday. So as you go Saturday into Sunday, you have your marginal risk and your slight risk for severe weather. Right now, it's a 2% chance for tornadoes that could grow throughout the day. There's a chance for wind and hail as well, and one little area over Kansas for large hail. But so far, your tornado chance for Saturday, I'm sure it will go up. Here's your cities and your states for the 2%. Now, as you go Sunday into Monday, now you're going to get the marginal on the northwest side of the U.S., mostly for Oregon. So you got to watch out, especially for that storm that's coming in. But look at the center of the U.S. now by Sunday. You got the marginal, the slight, and the enhanced section for severe weather. And a good chance for it to be very severe, a good chance for tornadoes to come up in this area, and a significant tornadoes or significant hail is possible in this black section. So for Sunday, here's your cities and your states for the 5%, the 15%, the 30%, and the significant chance for tornadoes and hail in the black. Plus a tropical update as well. When you look at NOAA's short range within the next 5 days, there's nothing. But when you go to NOAA's medium to long range, you do see they still showing from October 27th to November 2nd that we will have a development of a tropical cyclone, a tropical depression or greater strength by the eastern Pacific going towards Mexico, also going into the Lesser Antilles. I know people's been showing y'all that it's going to go north. It's not going north. I've been showing west for a long time. And it's showing here that it's going to go west, southwest now, a little bit of a down angle towards Central America. And the invest in the East Pacific is now at 90% within 48 hours, 90% in 5 days. As soon as it gets a close low, it's going to be a tropical storm and close to a hurricane. And so far, almost all the ensembles takes it up to a hurricane. Some get very extreme to a major hurricane. But the average is somewhere around a Cat 1, maybe a high-end Cat 1, low-end Cat 2. Now, this is going to bring a lot of rainfall across our country. And if you look at the color map here on the legend, that blue is 1 inch. Then as you go into the pink and the red, it starts getting to 2 inches. Then dark red is 3 inches, 4 inches. Orange is 5 inches. And then the brown is 7 or more. So when we check and see what this rainfall is going to do. And so far, according to the NOAA and National Weather Service website, for today, this is your rainfall expected. Remember, the blue is the 1 inch. That pinkish color is almost 2 inches. As we go into tomorrow, it's going to move over the center of the U.S. And you're going to start getting that flash flooding over the burn scars in Northern California. As you go into Sunday, that's the big day with a lot of winds and a lot of heavy rains coming across the West Coast from that storm, as well as that severe weather event that's going to be in the center of the U.S., the Ohio Valley mostly, with a lot of heavy rainfall. As you go into Monday, it kind of dies out and starts shifting over. As you go into Tuesday, then it's going to affect the Northeast. And Wednesday is really going to build up for the Northeast. And Thursday is when they might get some more heavy rainfall from that big system that's coming. So far, your rainfall expectancy all the way up to Sunday morning is this. And as you go into Monday morning, then it's going to get really heavy for the West Coast and the Ohio Valley. Then as you go all the way until Wednesday morning, then it's going to get really heavy, especially for Illinois, Iowa, northern Missouri, Indiana, and the West Coast. Then as you go all the way until next Friday, this is where you're going to get all the major rainfall going to be adding up for the East Coast, the Central U.S., and the West Coast. I'm still showing that. Plus the Bahamas, mostly the eastern Bahamas, but you have a lot of rainfall coming soon, Bahamas. And I'm still showing big waves as well. As this system moves through Sunday and goes into Monday, then it's going to be widespread 20-foot waves all across the West Coast. I'm talking all the way from the Northwest all the way down to California. So let's see, when it starts will be on Saturday. It'll start bringing in some waves. It'll be somewhere around 10 feet, 10-foot waves. Maybe on shore, it'll be a little bit less than 10 feet. But as you go into Sunday, then it's going to start moving in and it'll start growing because it's going to be 25 to 30-foot waves out there in the Pacific. But as you go into Monday, then it's all going to be rubbing up along the coast with 15 to 20-foot waves all up and down this. All up and down Washington, Oregon, a little bit higher for Oregon. But as you go down to California, all the way down by Santa Rosa, it's going to be a good chance for everywhere to be 20-foot waves. It starts going less as you go down Southern California. This is a big system bringing a lot of strong waves. As a matter of fact, I'm still showing 30-foot waves out there. It showed 35 the other day, so it did calm down a little bit. Nope, there they are. That's on Sunday. 41. 41, 42 foot waves. That is huge. Then by Monday, it's going to weaken down a little bit, but at the same time, that's when the big waves move in. It starts calming down by Tuesday evening into Wednesday to back to about 10 foot waves. Matter of fact, when you check Monday and see what's up according to the Euro is showing that there's a good chance for 24 to 26 foot waves all up and down the coast. California as well, 22 to 23 foot waves. So don't start going down to 18 to around San Jose. And that's according to the Euro. GFS showing the same thing. 24, 25 foot waves right along the coast. And that is going to be dangerous. So please be careful. Plus a good chance for tornadoes as well. As you go into Saturday and the system moves across the center of the U.S., you got that severe weather chance. And that severe weather chance is going to bring a chance for tornadoes. It's not a big chance. It's 7 out of 10, but it's still a good chance for tornadoes. Then as all this winds down and it starts going into Sunday, going to the overnight, you can see how it blows up for Sunday as this system moves across northern Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, even Missouri, and it's going to go into Arkansas as well. And that's going to carry over. And if you look at it, you'll see that it started strengthening in those last few shots that we have. It's only a 7 out of 10 chance for tornadoes, but it's still a good chance, and it's definitely going to be widespread thunderstorms. And for the burn scars areas for southwest Oregon and northern California, you can see how this all adds up. This is the next 60 hours. This is only the next 2.5 days. These are those little waves that you're going to get of these storms, and as it comes in for Sunday, then it's going to start getting worse and get heavier for you. That was Saturday, and there's Sunday morning. All we can see is a portion of it, but it does start getting really heavy. Definitely 6-7 inches widespread. And since the low pressure system, the center of it's pretty much going to be right offshore by Oregon and Washington, there's a little bit of clearer weather with that. It's swinging all the weather down from the southwest. So Oregon and Washington isn't going to get a lot of rainfall. The main cities are going to see about a half an inch, maybe an inch. So according to the GFS and the Euro, for the next 5 days, the Euro shows Aberdeen, Washington, almost 4 inches. Forks, Washington, a little bit heavier. Seattle, a couple of inches. And as you go down to Portland, it's about 2.5, maybe 3 inches. And Salem, Oregon, a little over 2 inches. But as you go from 5 to 10 days, then the heavier rainfall comes from the multiple storms. Aberdeen's going to see over 6 inches. Forks, over 8. Portland, a little over 3. And Salem, almost 3. Seattle, a little over 3. But southwest Oregon, Gold Beach, all the way down California, actually in the next 5 days, all the way to San Francisco, y'all going to see the rainfall that northern Oregon and Washington is going to see. It's going to take up to 10 days. But y'all going to see a lot of heavy rainfall. Within 5 days, 6 inches widespread all the way down. A lot of people getting 7 and 8 inches as well. San Francisco, 4 inches. San Jose, a little over 3 inches. This next 5 days. Sacramento, almost 5 inches. And the GFS takes it about the same amount, same areas. Everybody getting widespread 4 or 5 inches all up and down the coast. And that's just within the next 5 days. Plus the wind gusts as well. So far, the Euro shows that all the strong winds out in the Pacific will get up to 107 miles per hour winds. But you can see that this purple is all 50s. That bright blue is actually 60s. But you can see the winds. This is all wind gust accumulation within the next 5 days. But you can see how up and down the coast where this wind gust is going to be reaching. Everybody getting widespread 50 and 60 and higher elevations. That's what those light blues are. Aberdeen, you're going to be getting over 40. I know there's a lot of fishermen over there. Y'all need to watch out. You're going to be getting a lot of winds within the next 5 days. 50 miles per hour wind gusts. That's according to the Euro. GFS is showing the same thing. It's going a little bit further inland. Plus the heavy rainfall that's going to be coming with it as well. But it is going to be all down Washington, Oregon, all down California, all the way down to San Francisco is going to see all this wind gusts. Eureka has 50 miles per hour wind gusts according to the Euro, as well as the rest of the U.S. as these systems move across to the center of the U.S. Within the next 5 days, it'll bring high 40 miles per hour wind gusts, some spots of 50, maybe 60 and higher elevations. But in the next 10 days, according to the Euro, it'll be a swath through of 50, high 50s, moving across the whole country. Mostly Nebraska, Kansas, Colorado, New Mexico, Arkansas, Tennessee, northern half of the deep south. It is going to bring a lot of severe weather. And the northeast as well. They're going to be seeing high 40s to 50 miles per hour wind gusts out of all this rain. And for the tropics, guys, I'm still showing that this cold air is still going to be a big trough. Matter of fact, it's going to go all the way towards Cuba, maybe even get very close towards Jamaica. But that still, we need that to happen so I can keep this hurricane at bay, because it's still coming. So when we look at the Arctic Oscillation, which lets us know when this cold air is coming down and how far, according to the Euro, it's going to be coming down to about a -1, which isn't too far, but it's far enough to keep it at bay, at least out the Gulf, if it does do something like that. But if you notice, right towards the end of October, towards the beginning of November, it starts going back towards a positive phase, which means it might not be there to block this storm. You look at your North Atlantic Oscillation, which lets you know if this system is going to carry into a deep trough all the way across our country, or if it's going to go back up on a high ridge and not be there for us. According to the Euro, it shows that it don't go too deep of a trough. It goes across our country, but once it gets to the center of the U.S., around the deep south, it's going to start going towards a positive phase and going away from the southeast. And we need it to come down and beat them storms away. Now, the GFS has always been on track on our cold air coming in. If y'all remember what happened a couple of years ago in Texas, GFS is always on track on that. I don't know what it is, what they did to it, but they did something great with the data, because it's great on Arctic Oscillation. So GFS shows that we're going to go all the way down to a -2 towards the end of October, which will bring a very cold blast going all the way into the Gulf of Mexico. Then it's going to be going up towards a higher ridge. So it will be here to swing over way past a -1 in early November when this storm is around the area. But there is a couple bounces coming after that. So that would continually keep this storm at bay like a couple of waves. If it kept trying to come into our country after this first deep trough, it would be battered down over and over again if it kept trying to come back. Just to give you a scenario, if we have a high pressure swinging over western Atlantic, it would be swinging the storms wide into the Caribbean and maybe getting into the Gulf. But if you got these low troughs that keep coming in and keeping that battered away with the cold air and pushing it, putting very much different steering winds into our Caribbean, and that's what we need to keep it away, the steering winds. And you can see that here when you look at the North Atlantic Oscillation, NAO, according to the GFS. GFS is showing towards end of October all the way into the beginning of November. We're going to have a deep trough going into our country, into the southeast. And we got another one coming shortly behind it. So it will be a couple waves pushing at this tropical system. Now, I'm showing you this according to the GFS because the Euro shows it a little bit later. I'll show you that as well. But on October 31st, right within the same time frame that NOAA did say something is going to be popping up and you are expecting it, we do get a system popping up. It's been showing a few different anomalies. And I know a lot of people have been saying it's going to go north. It's not going to go north. But when we look at it and see what's going on with the steering winds and the high pressure, you can see that the last few times where this storm system been, and we can kind of see where the average is. And it did get close to Puerto Rico a bunch of times. So Puerto Rico, I definitely think you should keep your heads up on this. If not, no winds, definitely a lot of rainfall coming. The Lesser Antilles, you just need to be aware. And Central America, it could be coming towards you, and Jamaica as well. But the average shows that it will be popping up somewhere around the Northern Antilles, somewhere around October 30th to the 31st. And a lot of models show that it's going to take all the way to November 2nd for it to finally start doing any movement. And it gets pretty strong, all the way down to a 969 right west of Puerto Rico. But once again, when you look at your steering winds, you can see that they're all pushing north to northeast as this cold front comes in, pushing everything away. So nothing could make it into the Western Caribbean to get into the Gulf to affect anywhere of the U.S. states. This will affect Dominican Republic. It will affect Puerto Rico, Turks and Caicos, Bahamas, maybe even Bermuda as well. And it has a chance to go further west also. And when you look at your potential vorticity, you can see it at this moment. It has a lot of vorticity, some stronger sections here from some bands wrapping around. Also out here, though, you have an opportunity for it to move all the way up to this section. There's vorticity in all this area. So there's growth anywhere you see this purple. So anywhere you see this bluish purple color, this is all rising air. And all this brown color that's coming from this cold front. This is all cold air. This is sinking air. So anywhere in this section, it could grow. But if you look at the shear, you can see that that cold front is bringing a lot of strong wind shear, very strong. So if it went west, it would get beat up literally by the shear. And matter of fact, as it heads north, it's going to get beat up by the shear. So I think that this hurricane will be very strong. I think it'll be short-lived though. And all that cold air is bringing all this dry air and is getting very far, all the way towards Jamaica. And you can see how it starts slowly getting wound up and pulled into the vorticity of this system. And that's going to choke it out as well. And if you look on the right, you'll see that the dust coming in with that sulfur dioxide up in it, it will be meeting up and it will do a squeeze play as it gets steered to the north and northeast. It gets choked up by dry air all around it. At this point, it's getting sheared from the west to the east, and all the moisture is way over here, and none of it is around the system, shortly dying off after that. But you can see that here as it moves up into the Caribbean. We get our first blast of cold air. It steers it to the north. The high pressure over here of this dust keeps swinging around clockwise, so it's swinging that around that high pressure. As we get a second blast of cold air like the GFS shows, it would be keeping everything away. But the Euro, the SpaghettiOs do show that in 10 days, right at the beginning of November, we will start getting some lift, some chances for a system to build up. But as you see, as it gets stronger and the cold front comes down, it still blocks it. It tries to go into Gulf, it says nope, and it intensifies and goes east, northeast. So it goes a little more northern than GFS showing it goes a little more eastern. But in 5 days, you can see with the Euro that it does build up its chances for a tropical depression in the southern half of the Caribbean, and it carries over on the southern half of the Caribbean. In 10 days, it starts shifting a little bit northern, and it starts getting a little more powerful right in the southern half of the Caribbean. So it wouldn't be northern and getting pulled out by Puerto Rico. It would actually go a little further west. And you can see that here. This is the latest run. This is a 06Z. And this is right on November 1st. And the storm starts headed west towards Central America, intensifies to a hurricane, and it could either go into the Bay of Campeche, it can go into the East Pack at that point, or it can get into the Gulf and go right underneath all these cold fronts. So I'll put it all the way on the 31st of October. I'm going to show you all the ensembles. That way you can see it all at one time, what the potential is out of this system that's passing through our Caribbean. And you can see one of them immediately right here on 25 just takes it strengthening up right by Jamaica. That'd bring a lot of rain, a lot of winds, and it just bulldozes through over Cuba, over the Bahamas, and just goes into the Atlantic. As a matter of fact, a lot of them is showing that. You can see it good here on E10, E17, and a little bit sooner right here on E11. So if you watch this section right here, you can see how it just grows, and this one even takes it from the southern half of the Caribbean like Euro shows, and it still heads north, all three of them. It just takes it, strengthens it up, and heads north, either sooner or later. And when you try and see what's going with northeast within the next 10 days, because these storms take a while to get there, according to the Euro, Boston over 6 inches, Hartford, Connecticut over 5 inches, New York almost 3. Everybody else is about lighter amounts. This is within a 10-day period. Those heavy amounts right there, though, is from the 5 to the 10-day. For 5 days, you got a couple of inches. Hartford, you're going to get most of yours within 5 days, according to the Euro. But in 10 days altogether, it's a heavy amount. Even Portland up there with over 5 inches. But the GFS don't see it. GFS says it's going to be a little bit further north, like Utica, New York is going to get over 5 inches, and this is all going from 5 to 10 days. You can see everybody else with very light amounts. GFS is showing less. But there's still a chance within the next 5 days to get very strong wind gusts in the northeast. According to the Euro, the GFS is not showing that's a chance. It's going to curve a little more into the Atlantic and be more like a mid-Atlantic problem. Southern Jersey, Maryland, Delaware, maybe 30 or 40 miles per hour winds. Euro is showing that's going to be a little more northern, more like Long Island and everybody in the northeast. But when you go 10 days, then it shows all the storms coming, and all the 60 miles per hour or more is actually in the Atlantic and not over land. All this purple is all 50s, a lot of high 50s, but it's all in the 50s, even the 40s, the high 40s. So I wouldn't even worry about too much about this storm. It's not trending on both models. GFS takes it further down, but Long Island, GFS shows that you could get to 50 miles per hour wind gusts within the next 10 days, going from 5 to 10 days out. So just be aware. Both systems are showing it's coming. As far as where it's going, it's still 10 days out. All right, so this is NAM 3K. I'm going to show this to you. This is the next 60 hours, 2.5 days of the severe weather. And you can see it coming from the northwest and starting to brew up for the center of the U.S. by the time the end of the run starts. Thank you so much for visiting my channel. If you find this information helpful, please hit that like button, show support, especially those that watched it all the way through. For my family, yours, thank you so much. You help us in more ways than you know. Today I want to read something. I'm going to do something a little different at the same time. To all my new subscribers, I usually do this before Sabbath starts. Give you a little bit of inspiration. God bless you. Deuteronomy 7. When the Lord thy God shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it, and hath cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites, and the Girgashites, and the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations, greater and mightier than thou. And when the Lord thy God shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them, and utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. For they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods. So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you, and destroy thee suddenly. But thus shall ye deal with them, but shall destroy their altars, and break down their images, and cut down their groves, and burn their graven images with fire. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. The Lord did not set his love upon you, nor choose you, because ye were more in number than any people, for ye were the fewest of all people. But because the Lord loved you, and because he would keep the oath which he had sworn unto your fathers, hath the Lord brought you out with a mighty hand, and redeemed you out of the house of bondmen, from the hand of Pharaoh king of Egypt. Know therefore that the Lord thy God, he is God, the faithful God, which keepeth covenant and mercy with them that love him, and keep his commandments to 1,000 generations. And repayeth them that hate him to their face, to destroy them. He will not be slack to him that hateth him, he will repay him to his face. Thou shalt therefore keep the commandments, and the statutes, and the judgments, with which I command thee this day to do them. Wherefore it shall come to pass, if ye hearken to these judgments, and keep and do them, and the Lord thy God shall keep unto thee the covenant and the mercy which he sware unto thy fathers. And he will love thee, and bless thee, and multiply thee. He will also bless the fruit of thy womb, and the fruit of thy land, thy corn, and thy wine, and thy oil, the increase of thy kind, and the flocks of thy sheep, in the land which he sware unto thy fathers to give thee. Thou shalt be blessed above all people. There shall not be male or female barren among you, or among your cattle. And the Lord will take away from thee all sickness, and will put none of the evil diseases of Egypt, which thou knowest, upon thee, but will lay them upon all them that hate thee. And thou shalt consume all the people which the Lord thy God shall deliver thee. Thine eye shall have no pity upon them, neither shalt thou serve their gods, for that will be a snare unto thee. If thou shalt say in thine heart, These nations are more than I. How can I dispossess them? Thou shalt not be afraid of them, but shalt well remember what the Lord thy God did unto Pharaoh and unto all Egypt, the great temptations which thine eyes saw, and the signs and the wonders, and the mighty hand, and the stretched out arm, whereby the Lord thy God brought thee out. So shall the Lord thy God do unto all the people of whom thou art afraid. Moreover, the Lord thy God will send the hornet among them, until they that are left, and hide themselves from thee, be destroyed. Thou shalt not be affrighted at them, for the Lord thy God is among you, a mighty God and terrible. And the Lord thy God will put out those nations before thee by little and little. Thou mayest not consume them at once, lest the beasts of the field increase upon thee. But the Lord thy God shall deliver them unto thee, and shall destroy them with a mighty destruction, until they be destroyed. And he shall deliver their kings into thine hand, and thou shalt destroy their name from under heaven. There shall no man be able to stand before thee, until thou have destroyed them. The graven images of their gods shall ye burn with fire. Thou shalt not desire the silver or gold that is on them, nor take it unto thee, lest thou be snared therein. For it is an abomination to the Lord thy God. Neither shalt thou bring an abomination into thine house, lest thou be a cursed thing like it. But thou shalt utterly detest it, and thou shalt utterly abhor it, for it is a cursed thing. Amen. Have a great day today, guys. Have a wonderful weekend. God bless you all. Please get prepared for this coming if you are in this weather, because it is coming. All power, all glory does go to Yahweh, God of Jacob, our Father. Amen. Happy Friday, guys. God bless every single one of you. Have a great day.